Hey guys, some breaking news here.
Yes.
And I'm getting some texts, in particular from my nephews who are freaking out right now because news has broken that Conor McGregor has been suspended for 18 months. I would like to explain to them that it's retroactive. So here it is from Uncrowned, the great Drake Riggs, writing, Conor McGregor's return to combat sports has been further delayed. On Tuesday, UFC announced that the former UFC featherweight and lightweight champion has been suspended for 18 months after violating the whereabouts policy under the promotion's anti-doping program. Through Combat Sports Anti-Doping, which is CSAD, that's the new anti-doping organization that they're linked with after moving on from USADA, McGregor missed 3 testing samples within a 12-month window on the dates of June 13th, September 19th, and September 20th, 2024. McGregor, 37, was initially to be suspended for 24 months until further cooperation prompted a reduction down to 18 months. UFC stated his suspension will be retroactive to the last date of his missed testing. This is the very important part, meaning he won't be eligible to return to competition until March 20th, 2026. So if you are a fan of Conor McGregor and you just want to see him fight on the White House card, this is much ado about nothing because you say to yourself, oh, he's good until, he's good as of, I should say, March 21st. Great. If you are someone who believes that, he doesn't play by the rules, and yeah, okay, this is significant. So it's kind of the way in which you want to slice it. But this doesn't so when my nephews are texting me, it's like, oh, now he can't fight on the White House card. No, if you just read suspended 18 months, you're like, oh shit, he's not fighting on the White House card. But then you have to understand that it's retroactive to June, or I guess September of last year. And now you realize that he's good to go as of March 20th. But there's no, there's no beating around the bush here. You recall in 2023 when the relationship with USADA and the UFC fizzled, he was kind of at the center of all of it. And he has talked openly about, removing himself from the testing pool in order to get back to 100%. Missing tests or not being where you are supposed to be will result in strikes. And if you miss 3, as they are saying he did, you get suspended. Any thoughts on this, guys? What do you guys say? What do you guys think? Much ado about nothing?
Much ado about nothing, but I do wonder why 18 months. It does feel particularly harsh. Like, I went back because I did remember that there were some other people. Yair Rodriguez got 6 months for the same offense, and Nick Diaz got 12 months for the same offense.
Interesting.
So why is Conor's 18? It just feels... I don't know if...
Yeah. Sorry, that it was 24 months and they're actually going down.
Yeah. So why was it initially 24 even? That's even more.
Well, that part is like you can kind of negotiate that, right? And then accept the terms. That's where they...
Well, by the way, if it's 24 months, he ain't fighting on the White House card.
Yeah, exactly. It's convenient that it would be 18 as opposed to 24. But why even either of those numbers when previously we have seen athletes in the same organization
is it possible
for 6 and be for 12?
Is it possible that this is the second...
Could be
offense, meaning the
second time that he has done 12 months of whereabouts.
I don't know. PT, what do you think?
I think, once he's able to fight in the White House card, I don't think anyone really cares,
Yeah. But I mean, it does add to what people were saying about his physique and the testing and all that stuff.
Wait, but did he not at the time basically say this is all above board? Like I felt at the time like he was kind of like, yeah, this is happening. I broke my leg.
Yeah.
But so I mean, missed the test, that doesn't shock me at all.
I know. I understand that. I always feel weird about the missed testing thing, if only because none of this is collectively bargained. So for those that don't know, the UFC fighters have to, if Arman Tsarukyan decides to go on a trip to Cancun, he has to update his whereabouts on an app so that they don't go to his home, ring the doorbell, he's not there, and say, what the hell? They need to know where you are every single day. If you go on vacation with your family, if some fighter decides to go on a road trip and doesn't tell them where they are and doesn't say, hey, I'm not going to be at the gym on these days and I'm not going to be home and I'm going to be actually in Vermont, you get a strike for that. And I just think that's wild. I think that's wild. As an independent contractor, having to tell your promotion, not your employer, because if you were having to tell your employer you would be an employee, having to tell them 24/7, 365 where you are. And oh, by the way, they also tell you what to wear when you do, when you do compete for them. That's pretty damn strict. I always make this comparison. The guy who comes to my house, my freezer, I have an upright freezer in my garage. It broke. There's a guy coming to my house on Friday. I can't ask that guy to tell me where he's going to be between now and Friday every single hour of the day. And I can't tell that guy what to wear when he comes to my house. You know why? Because he's an independent contractor. Because I am hiring him to do a job. And when he's done with that job, he has no ties to me whatsoever. And yet these fighters have to tell them where they are 24/7, 365. That seems harsh. Does it not?
It's untenable, but at the same time, if you are collectively deciding now, again, collective bargaining would be a key in this scenario. If you are collectively deciding that you want to pursue a clean sport, there's no better way to do it, right? There isn't an alternative to random testing, to showing up.
There is an alternative. The alternative is in the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, they have testing, but they can't be tested 24/7, 365. This is
Premier League as well.
This is
that testing doesn't work.
This is collectively bargained. They come
understand.
to an agreement. Hey, you can't. By the way, in those sports, you think they're going ding dong on LeBron James's doorbell at 6 a.m. and waking him up?
That's a great example. I don't think they are.
Well,
and I think
Hey, be careful
being
now.
pretty clear about what I think.
Do you think they're ringing Josh Allen's door?
No.
But you're a $1 million athlete, multi-million-dollar athlete. You don't want someone showing up to your house at 6 a.m.
No, nor do you, as the player or the league, want somebody to pop hot, because that diminishes your value and returns.
Hang on, are you saying some of these lads take drugs?
Pizzi, you're putting words in my mouth. I'm saying all of these lads take drugs.
Oh my God.
The reality is you can have two options: no testing or this type of random testing, and one will produce better outcomes than the other in terms of catching cheaters. The middle ground of like, hey, after the event or after the basketball game, we're going to test you. It's never going to work. That's not going to catch anybody. That's not true testing.
I don't think it has to. By the way, I don't think it has to be right after the game, because that's too obvious. But I think you could say.
So how do you do it if it's not random?
I think you could say between the hours of such and such. I think you can say between the months of such and such, or I don't know.
Between the months of such and such, what happens though? How do they test?
We can't, or we can. We can't go to your house, or we can go to your house. Between the
so
hours,
they are going to their house.
To say, I'm on vacation for a week. Don't come near me.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get you either side of that window anyway.
Right.
It's not like you can take some steroid that comes in and out of your system in a week and will have.
I mean, naturally, you could understand why that would lead to some obvious ways to skirt the system, right? Don't come to my house for this period, but I'm good for you to come this time. Like, there is not a better way to do it if you are in support of a clean sport. At the same time, maybe that's not the objective, and clearly that's kind of like we're all seemingly moving away from that. But
can I ask you guys this? The word of the day yesterday was performative, right? That was the word of the day. Do you think this is performative on the UFC's part? Do you think this is to say, hey, we're catching people?
The McGregor one specifically?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. Because it's not going to stop him from fighting at
Right.
all. If his goal is to fight on the White House card, it's very convenient, like you guys said, that they're cutting it down from 24 to 18. Oh, now he's off in March instead of being off in September, which would stop him from fighting on the White House card. This is causing no issues for Conor McGregor. He's not really serving anything. It's just for the UFC to put out.
Or the UFC. Right? 18 months. Line them up. White House. No problems. They get what they want. He gets what he wants.
Yeah, I see sometimes Jedi tweets these out. He has been tested recently. I think it's 3 times, 4 times, and it's on the website, and I don't even know what the website is. It's CSAD or something like that. And it says all has been good, but this is dating back to last June. This is 2024. It's June and September. So... I don't think anyone is surprised that he would be attached to something like this. But again, it feels very convenient to do it because you could say, hey, look, we're going after people we're trying to catch people, and look, this is the biggest fish. But then you say, all right, it's not really affecting when he was going to fight. And also, I do have a problem with them showing up or having to tell the UFC 24/7, 365 where they are. I have a problem with that. And if that means, by the way, that it's not a quote unquote clean sport, well, them's the breaks. I don't think
Then there's
anyone.
no clean sports.
But I don't think anyone should have to tell their employer where they are 24/7, 365. What if I asked you?
If they're not an employee, rather.
I just text
You
you
said they're
anyway and tell
employer,
you.
but you mean like
Both.
they're not.
Both.
I guess that's fair too. Yeah, right.
Yeah, both.
I don't want to be telling my employer. Yeah, you're right.
It's crazy.
Again, it's in pursuit of something. If we acknowledge that we don't care about that, then I'm fine. Like, I don't care either.
I think both can be true. I think you can
don't.
still care and not
How?
have to do this. This
How
is
can
what
you test
collect.
them?
This is what you sit at a table and talk about. You sit at a table
got
and
it.
say, okay, you're going to give me this and I'm going to take that. And you're going to say this and I'm going to take that. Like, that's the bargaining process.
The other sports have it and nobody gets caught. We have it already.
This is also a sport where
Nobody gets
taking
caught.
these drugs makes a massive impact. Like it has impacts in other sports.
100%.
In this sport, it has a huge impact.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I would say it has a huge impact in the National Football League as well.
The
For
goal
sure.
of the National Football League isn't
An impact,
or
but
to
not
be a
as
human
not as
being.
big as 1v1 combat.
So
Yeah,
are
they
you guys
do.
saying, are you in favor of the fighters having to tell the UFC where they are 24/7?
I'm in favor of the fighters deciding if they want it. The collective, that's
okay,
what I'm
all
in
right,
favor
All
of.
right, all right.
But I do very firmly believe that there's only two possible outcomes. There's we do it randomly and we can drop by whenever, or let's not do it at all. The middle ground just doesn't produce anything worthwhile. It's a waste of time.
I just want to know, ultimately, it doesn't matter what I think, what you think, what any of us think. I want the fighters to decide this.
100%.
I want them to decide what they wear. I want them to decide what they can or cannot wear, where they can and cannot be, how much they have to tell. Like, I just wish we could get to that point. Is it that hard? I'm not. By the way, I'm not even asking for 50% of the revenue here. I just want them to have a seat at the table. I just want them to
On
have
decisions
a say.
like this.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there any chance of that happening? In
No.
the near
Anytime
future?
soon, no. There's no one who's raising their hand. There's no one spearheading this. There was a moment in 2016 where it looked like something was going to happen, but it died pretty quickly.
It's such a specifically individual sport, and especially like obviously like there's individual sports where they have kind of associations and things like that, tennis, golf, but it's a sport where the failures of your opponents are your benefit and is the most optimal way for you to get your opportunities. It's inherently very hard for somebody to want the success of the other people, and so I just don't see anybody foregoing their own benefit collectively to do it. It's very hard to envision right now.
On Air Jordan has provided me with the whereabouts policy for tennis players. So is this the ATP and the WTA?
Covers, ATP, WTA, I believe Olympics.
So they have
similar
the same
because
type of
it's
policy.
WADA, so it's a World Anti-Doping, so it's similar policy.
Similar policy, which was adopted from USADA and WADA, World Anti-Doping. They have the similar whereabouts policy. It's an essential tool in upholding clean sport by providing their daily whereabouts. Players ensure that the ITIA can operate a no-notice testing program and maintain the integrity of the game. Whereabouts is a requirement of the WADA code and is filed using the WADA Adams platform. And so, by the way, I'm all for clean sport. I don't know enough about tennis to know if any of this is is there a tennis association? Is there?
I think there is. I believe that there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ATP.
No, meaning is there a players
The
association?
union.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I believe there is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if they collectively bargain this, but
That's the key.
it's got to be annoying as hell. And by the way, some people have gone infractions, not because they're trying to hide, and I'm not suggesting that's what happened here, what I'm about to say, but just because they forget,
No, totally. But that's why this is the grace of 3 times in 12 months, right? Like,
Right.
if you did that, if you made a mistake, it's only after 3. But there doesn't seem to be consistency. As I said, Nick Diaz, a year, Rodriguez, 6 months. Like there's no rhyme or reason for any of this.
Now, those were for USADA.
Yeah.
This is the new organization. So perhaps they're even stricter
Oh yeah, for sure.
than
Yeah.
USADA.
Even more sign of performative.
If you don't care about any of this, top line, it doesn't affect his involvement on the White House card or any sort of return past March 21st, and there was no sign of him fighting anytime between now and March 21st. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.